No, the dabbing kind of ruined everything.
The dabbing.
Okay, we had to stop after the dabbing. I just got out of control.
Justin thought it was 2000.
Sorry, yeah, I thought it was 2000. No, people still dab.
I mean, technically.
No, they just hit the folks and they run them in on that beat.
Nobody cool actually dabs anymore.
I dab. I dab.
Thanks. That's my point.
And extracurriculars.
Yeah.
What's going on, everybody? This is the 3 p.m. forecast?
3 p.m.
podcast for the T is silent. As always, I'm Justin Cherot, accompanied by my main man's Big Hak. I'm going to be talking about a myriad of topics today, and since we're not locked into those silly futures bets that are pretty much falling flat on their face so far early
Some
on.
are.
Actually,
no.
Actually,
all.
You're right. Some of them are holding true to form. I'm starting to feel worse and worse every day about the Mavs. 38.
Not feeling too high about those Wizards either.
Get better, Dirk. We need you in your Achilles. And Bradley Beal just needs
Get better, bench.
Get better everything.
Wizards, yeah.
Get better everything. So, we're going to talk, like I said, we're going to talk about a myriad of topics. Out of the blue, you know what happened Friday?
Happy Friday.
College basketball started.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Given everything else that happened this week, which we'll touch on later, that kind of like swept under the rug. Me personally, if you caught it, me playing, I was playing poker online live. Didn't go so well, but the long story short is I pretty much missed the entire Friday night slate, which apparently included a really good Arizona-Michigan State game.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel bad about missing that one. An underwhelming performance by our Terps.
Yeah.
And runaways by both Duke and Kentucky, who I think looked really good on the highlights.
But we can't miss that Kansas actually got beaten. They're probably
completely forgot about Kansas.
Probably the second or third most talented team in the nation, behind Duke and Kentucky.
Probably. But, I mean, Kansas doesn't always start out slow, but I have a feeling Kansas will be right there in the end. Indiana's kind of surprising. I was reading somewhere, and this is completely unprompted, Indiana was getting 32-1 to win the national title. It's looking like a value right now.
Actually,
looking like a really good value right now.
It's actually pretty good. But I mean, honestly, if you picked anybody other than Duke and Kentucky, basically the field, then that actually probably would be a pretty good bet if you pick somebody top 10. Just saying.
But don't you feel?
I don't know what Duke and Kentucky are getting, but I'm pretty sure that it's pretty high because Duke is the overwhelming favorite for.
Duke's got to be the overwhelming favorite. They're the favorite for preseason National Player of the Year. Might have the third or fourth best NBA career, which really tells you something.
Yeah.
They're going to play a lot of minutes he's basically going to be their point guard. I'm talking about Grayson Allen, the great white hope, dirtiest player in the nation, allegedly.
This is not just like another like hated Duke white Duke player. Mm-hmm. No, he likes to trip people.
Going completely.
It's pretty like his thing for tripping people is akin to Draymond Green liking to kick people in the nuts.
Hey,
it's not quite the same. One is a little more dangerous. It's like the college version. It's literally the college version of kicking people in the nuts. I'm not going to kick you in the nuts. I'm just going to kick you in the shins.
Going completely off the rails. Do you watch Atlanta at all?
Atlanta. The show? Yeah, I love it.
So, you know how they had the episode where Justin Bieber was black?
Yeah.
What if Grayson Allen was black? How would that play with the media?
In a weird way, I almost think it might play better.
It's going to set the foundation for the rest of this, isn't
it? I mean, honestly, I think that it would just be somebody, they would look at it as somebody who plays tough. And somebody who doesn't want to give up anything. I think that with Grayson Allen, there's a kind of juxtaposition there that doesn't really feel right, and he's going around tripping random dudes, and it's also kind of like a bit of a sissy way out. Like you're not even playing. It's not even like, oh, I'm playing hard D, and then like accidentally trip you. It's like him seeing somebody run by and then sticking his leg out.
That being said, I like Grayson Allen as a player.
I actually really like him as a player too.
He's one of my favorite
Ever since
recent
that
big
national
players.
championship game a couple
Oh
years
my
ago.
God, he went
No,
nuts.
he was
He
going
saved
in,
that
like,
game.
He really did, and he's got bounce.
He's the reason
Like-
Frank Kaminsky and Sam Decker don't have a title right now. Adam Wilson. He's the only person I know that is actually a Wisconsin fan. They exist.
Wow.
They exist.
That's amazing.
Trump voters exist too,
Especially in Wisconsin, apparently.
especially in Wisconsin.
So,
Yeah. So, but like I said, it looks like this. To me, it looks like this year's college basketball season is kind of like the NBA. I really feel like there's two clear-cut teams better than everybody else: Duke, Kentucky, and then there's everybody else. Their talent is just so deep. And we say this every year. It's like it's hard to foresee those two not being in the championship game. But the really cool thing about college is things happen, especially in the case of Kentucky.
especially in the case.
How
of
many
Kentucky.
titles does John Calipari have?
One.
One.
Yeah.
He precisely one.
One.
How many times has he brought in the top-ranked class?
Pretty much every year.
Every
since,
single year.
John Wall, Boogie, and what's his face?
And let's not discount how hard it is to win a national title, but you would figure with all the talent that he brings in, he would have more than one. So why do you think that he hasn't won multiple titles?
I mean,
Is it just like the luck of the draw,
honestly,
or is it
talent
something?
just doesn't mean everything. Like
That's
at
true.
the end of the day, especially in college where you're dealing with 17, 18, 19-year-old kids, and you're bringing in 4 or 5 of them, all who are expecting to go pro in a year, at worst 2 years, then I think it's tough for that to come together. I think basketball is not just a game about the best talent. It's also about how that talent meshes together. And when you're doing it without any sort of upperclassmen, then that's where you get into a lot of trouble. I think even that Kentucky team that won with Anthony Davis and MKG, I believe it actually had a couple, at least sophomores and juniors on the team from that Bledsoe Wall Cousins class. So, I think they kind of help get everybody settled when things go bad. And the thing is, especially in a tournament, a couple big shots go in, next thing you know, everybody's in trouble.
Why can't any of his teams make free throws down the stretch? It seems like a lot of their close games do come down to free throws traditionally, and it's the weirdest thing ever.
I mean, honestly, he recruits talent. He recruits talent. He doesn't. I don't even know if he truly even recruits to a position or to how he wants a position to play. If you look at, for instance, the Terps. We'll use the Terps.
Mm-hmm.
You can always say, okay, Turgeon is recruiting a point guard, a certain type of point guard. He's recruiting a certain type of shooter. He's recruiting a certain type of big man. And then we're just kind of filling in.
I think he's recruited pretty well.
And he's actually recruited
recruited very well.
And you can say the same thing with Duke. Duke does the same thing. They recruit a certain type of point guard. And they don't really try to recruit any big-time big men. They've had some. But, I mean, you look at the Plumlees, who all made the NBA, but...
This is the first year in, forever there hasn't been a Plumlee.
But they're all just, athletic guys who run the court.
Mm-hmm.
And he tries to get some good athletic threes. And so he has archetypes that he's going for. I don't think Coach Cal has an archetype. I think what he does is he says, okay, I need somebody from each of these positions, but I'm just going to take the best talent available, and then I'm relying on myself to be able to make it all work out. Now, as a coach, he's good at, I think, getting them to work as a team, but
in the regular season,
but that's the thing. I think there's a big difference. There's a distinction between being able to work as a team and also being a good X's and O's coach, and also getting them to run an offense when it matters.
That one year where they did win the national championship, where they had Davis and Kid Gilchrist and the abomination that was Marquise Teague, I thought that team was set up pretty well. They had 2 elite defenders at 2 positions, and that might be the only time he's really ever had that to go with all the offense that the offensive output. It'll be interesting to see. They're going to have a pretty dynamic backcourt with Monk and Fox this year. It's just going to be a wait and see thing. I mean, I do think it probably will come down to Duke and Kentucky, but then again, that's an insult to Villanova, who just won the national championship. North Carolina, who's going to always be good. Kansas. Team like Oregon, who's floating under the radar. Virginia, who's going to be in every game because of the fact they can defend. Are there about 10 teams that could win a national title? Maybe. But the overwhelming favorites are going to be Duke and Kentucky.
I agree. But, I think just once again, in the tournament, you have to look at those teams that have a little bit more experience, like the Villanova.
Oh, did I mention Michigan State?
Like the Villanovas, like the Virginias, like the Oregons. I mean, Louisville doesn't really impress me. Wisconsin has a lot of experience. They have some guys there who, like Nigel Hayes has been around. He was going to go to the NBA like 2 years ago.
I've been waiting for the hammer to come down in Louisville for a minute, by the way.
Yeah.
With Rick Pitino.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
I work with a guy who, shout out James Sparks. I work with a guy who's a Kentucky fan, lifelong Kentucky fan. And we have the conversation often. It's like, do you know of any other coach that could do what Pitino's done? The allegations that he's faced and still have a job?
No.
Coach K, maybe.
Not maybe. Coach K definitely does.
Coach K definitely.
He's got a court name after him, so.
Yeah. You would have thought the same about Joe Paterno. R.I.P.
But Paterno never got fired. Did he get fired?
He got fired. Yeah, he got fired.
Okay.
Yeah, he got fired, and then he died like 4 weeks later. It was like one of the saddest things ever.
Yeah, but I mean,
the
whole thing was
the whole thing was very sad.
Yeah. So, okay, it'll be interesting college basketball season. So
I can't fully invest in college basketball until it's March and it's time to gamble hypothetically.
We'll see. If Maryland's good, then
college basketball is always more exciting if Maryland's good. We'll see. We'll kind of get a glimpse of how good they can be when they play Georgetown this Tuesday.
Yeah, but Georgetown's
not great, but like it's a good measuring stick.
At the very least, it'll be a fun game. But yeah.
Last year they played them really close. That was a really good game that Maryland probably should have lost.
But Maryland was by far the more talented team. That was such a disappointing Maryland team. Sweet 16, they have basically 5 NBA players on that team, including the greatest player in NBA history, Jake Layman.
We had to talk about Jake Layman because that was in the comment box. Shout out to Ryan Folkingham on that, my poker boy, buddy, and Adam Wilson also mentioned it. I haven't checked the stats recently, but at one point, he was a leading scorer per 36 minutes. In NBA history. Let that digest for a second. That's sick.
Yes. If you see
he just comes in like the game's out of hand and he just scores 20 points.
He also banged on somebody too.
I missed him banging on somebody.
And he did a reverse bang on somebody, and then like the Portland Twitter account was like, and look at the hair.
He's got Trump-esque hair.
Trump-esque. He's got way sexier hair.
He's got way sexier.
Way sexier hair than Trump.
Like, I kind of thought just watching him play at Maryland, I figured that there was a chance he could have a much better NBA career, and so far that's right. Even though that could mean that he's out of the league in 2 years, because that's just the volatility of the industry.
I mean, that's true, but I mean, at the end of the day, at his game, he can shoot. He's got NBA size. He can handle the ball a little bit. I think that he's got a shot to. He's going to get at least a couple years to prove himself.
I can't believe we actually were spending a minute and a half on Jake Layman.
We did.
But you know what? Props to the man for doing his thing.
Exactly.
As former Terps, actually one alum and one something.
And one who went there.
And I went there. During the championship year, though. So.
Yes.
Well, actually, the 2 years that I did go there, national champs. ACC tournament champs. I'm just saying, Maryland, you shouldn't have kicked me out. You shouldn't have kicked me out. You should have let me stay out 4 years. You could have had a dynasty. Oh, by the way, speaking of Maryland stuff, Gravis Vasquez is out of the league right now. That's
I know. He might never come back.
Yeah, I mean...
Was it torn Achilles? I want to say torn Achilles.
Yeah, he torn Achilles last year, and then he's
it's
basically...
Just athleticism just never really came back.
He's never been that athletic. He's always been more of a heady player.
Exactly.
And that shows you the difference that from the college level to the pros, athleticism does make a difference.
Well, the thing is that because he was tall, he was able to get by on his on his relative athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you tear your Achilles and you're not that athletic to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
suddenly you can't guard anybody, especially when he's a point guard. A big point guard, but a point guard.
He wasn't that great defensively to begin with.
Exactly. That also. So, maybe he's another Sean Livingston story, but
Hey, Sean Livingston's story looks like it's had a happy ending.
I don't know if we're going to see the shimmy anytime in the near future.
Unless it's at one of our games. Oh, I should announce this on air. Hak, I'm gonna make the decision.
Okay.
I am gonna be out this Tuesday.
Oh,
I'm gonna be out this Tuesday. It's for the betterment of the team. I need my back to be better so that we don't completely have no depth when it comes to the playoffs. And I felt despite I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, I threw down today.
I did see that.
I threw down.
I did see that.
It was the most awkward thing ever. But I was telling Cadence that I wasn't just trying to gas her head up. She's holding the camera with her right hand.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, she doesn't play a lot of basketball. She's really into soccer right now.
Mm-hmm.
But she's got the ball in her left hand. She is
Mm-hmm.
right-handed. She threw that oop in one take. One take. It was that's Rudy-esque. I wanted to carry her off the basketball court.
That was very
on
impressive.
my shoulders, right there.
And let alone let's not talk about your ups that were shown there.
Yeah. It was. I didn't exactly rise very high, but then again,
the explosiveness was real.
I'm blaming it on my back.
Oh yeah,
my back is.
Your back
has robbed me of my usual explosiveness.
Yeah, of course, your usual explosiveness. All right, so let's get into the NBA a little bit.
Of course. We were just talking about the NBA. Important topics like Jake Layman and Gravis Vasquez.
This is true. So, teams. We're going to talk a little bit about the teams that are doing a little bit less than expected. Or doing a little worse than expected.
A little bit worse than expected.
So, I mean, and that's not like the 76ers. We already know they're going to be bad. We're not talking about...
I don't know. Well, I guess I expected them to be around what they are right now. Maybe a win here, win there. But, 1 in...
they're 1-8.
1-9, 1-8.
The 76ers, they're 1-8.
1-8, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, if you look at...
-12 differential, that actually seems lower than it really should be.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but it's the NBA.
Well, actually, the funny thing is if you look at the differentials, look at the Knicks. The Knicks are -7.9.
Losing games by 8. They're giving up 110 points.
They have 3 wins, but they're giving up 110 points a game and losing by an average of 8 points.
It just seems I think the talent's there, but it just seems internally as a team they don't know what they want to do.
I know Phil Jackson came out and he was kind of mad that they're not using a triangle, but I don't think that that's not a triangle team.
We have to win my way.
Yeah, I think some part of it is you have to win in a way that's conducive to the talent you have around you.
Right. The goal is to win, not to win and make yourself look super smart.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if you have Derrick Rose on your team, then why would you try to run the triangle? But frankly, it
should be more of a pick and roll offense.
Exactly. But also if Phil Jackson's mad, they're not running tons of.
And then Kurt Rambis is the glorified defensive coordinator. Might be the first defensive coordinator in NBA
How
history.
many winning records has he ever had as a coach?
I think 0.
I think
I'd comfortably say 0.
Yeah, I easily say 0. He tried to murder Kevin Love's career. But
at least Derrick Rose is not guilty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
He's guilty.
In the court of law.
He is guilty of being a freak, though.
Did you? This is kind of late, but did you hear about what happened after the trial? The judge taking pictures.
Yes.
There's something wrong with our legal system.
So also,
then the jurors.
I'm honestly,
what?
this isn't even. You could take a lot of things from the election and all these other things, but the fact is if I feel bad for women who are going to look at that and be like, oh, this famous guy goes on trial. And we're not even going to talk about the details of the case, because the details of the case are very suspect. So we'll just say, at the very least, he's a freak.
I hope we're appealing. I think with our with our views, I think we're appealing to women right now.
My dude was freaking off. So
he was
anyway,
very wrongly.
His whole crew. So at the very least, there was a little something funny with that. But then after the trial, so after he gets off, the judge has the temerity to say, "I hope you have a good season, except against the Lakers." What? What? What judge says that?
In the background.
So it's like all good now, okay, we're gonna just say, okay, even though it's at the very least a little suspect that you was doing some stuff with this woman when she probably was not aware of it, but we're not gonna worry about that. We're just gonna say, I hope you have a good NBA season. And then the jurors are like, ooh, Derek, let me get an autograph. Ooh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you do that?
Is there another rape trial coming up, or did that get cleared? Of, you know what I'm talking about?
Honestly, I don't.
Make America Great Again.
What?
Make America Great Again.
Oh,
is that coming up, or did that?
I don't know. I don't know if that's actually a trial or not. There's a trial for the
There's some trials for other things. But
he's actually got I think 110 legal cases out there right now, for real.
Over under getting convicted on one of them. Over under 0.5. Over under 0.5.
Over
0.5.
By university.
I'm gonna take the under.
Hey,
I'm gonna take the under.
I mean, hey, fair enough.
Anyway, we're really good at getting off the rails.
Yeah, we are. But so anyway, Knicks.
Knicks suck right now. They suck right now, but it's early. See, here's the thing: it's early, and they still have plenty of time to turn the ship around. I thought we'd see a little bit of a bigger leap from Porzingis. Anthony is.
But wait. Here's my question, and I used to be a Derrick Rose fan, but for real, is I was just watching this highlight where Aaron Rodgers got decked in the end zone. That's crazy. So, do you think that Porzingis is kind of plateauing because of Derrick Rose, perhaps, or the people he has around? To me, that looks like a situation where you have, first of all, Derrick Rose, who is probably one of the bottom 10 starting point guard passers in the NBA.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
fair. He's never been a high assist.
He's never been a high assist guy,
really
and then the fact that his explosiveness has kind of gone away a little bit. I don't think he knows how to get people shots. I think there's a difference between being able to pass and knowing how to get somebody a shot, and I don't think he knows how to get people a shot. And I think that's kind of one of the areas where Porzingis is hurts.
And again, I still think Anthony, despite the fact that Rose and Anthony have the ball in their hands like the majority of the time, Porzingis is still putting up decent numbers.
Oh yes,
he's actually fairly efficient from last time I checked.
But then also here's another thing. Don't you think maybe his when he will hit it big is when he ends up playing stretch 5.
Yeah, when he puts on the weight and
so instead of
actually handle himself
playing him next to Noah, then you have him at the 5, Melo at the 4.
Defensively, you ever think he'll get to the point where he could be a good 5?
I mean, he's 7'3". He's 7'3" with that sort of length. I mean, I think that you'll probably always have to have a strong defensive center behind him. But I think
that
for
Dirk
stretches, I think
he's a better defender than Dirk, though.
Oh, he is, and that's the thing. He's agile. He's got good leaping ability. Obviously, he can block shots. I think that from a movement standpoint, you could probably do a lot of good things, cool things with him. It's just that you just will have to have somebody with bulk near him or be backing him up. But I think for 20 minutes a game, you may not start him at the 5, but 20 minutes a game, that ends up being their death ball lineup. But I don't think we're going to see that as long as you have Noah and Rose on the team.
Do you think there's any possibility that the Knicks say F it and trade Anthony?
Honestly, I say yes, if they're smart.
I think that would be the good move in the long run, but I think a lot of people, they might be hesitant to hand the team just straight off to Porzingis.
They would.
Might want to see a little bit more first.
But here's the thing. So, what if, for instance, if you're the Knicks And so you have Carmelo Anthony. His timeline is completely different than Porzingis. At the end of the day, we don't really care about Derrick Rose because he's only on a 1-year contract anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a free roll.
It's really a free roll. So we're not even mad about that. So
they could tank this year. Get one of those really good point guards coming out.
Exactly. So what if you tank this year?
Lonzo Baldo.
Get a really good point guard, and let's say trade Carmelo to
the Mavs.
Let's say the Wizards for Bradley Beal.
Who says no?
I don't think anybody says no.
Really?
I mean, the Wizards' timetable is way.
Yeah, let's talk about teams that have not been performing to expectation because that's where we're starting.
Yeah,
so we gotta talk about the Wizards.
We do, and
we don't have to talk about the Mavs at all.
Well, the fact is, we're not going to talk about the Mavs because, frankly, I don't know.
Well, there's not much to talk about. I mean, we've got a lot of players hurt. That's why we're 2-6. It's not because we suck. Hurt, we got a bunch of people hurt.
I don't know if anybody looked at the Mavs team and was like, they're going to kill it this year. I think everybody was like, Red Carlisle's amazing.
Yeah.
Dirk's amazing.
And that's why they're still going to win.
I think maybe they'll be good. But
that's why they're still going to win 42 to 44 games. It's still my prediction. I'm sticking to it.
Good luck with that, man.
42, 44 games. Watch. Dirk comes back from his Achilles injury or whatever it is.
Williams is hurt, too.
JJ Barea is hurt. Seth Curry started the other night. Actually, he played pretty well against his brother. I don't know if you saw it.
Nobody saw it.
Nobody saw it. Oprah Iverson saw it. I was watching it on YouTube.
Obviously, even the ESPN guys didn't see it.
Cool ass.
Even the ESPN guys didn't see it because they were banned.
Oh, man, do we have to talk about that?
Mark Cuban was channeling his inner Trump.
I guess.
All of that trash talk, Cuban was talking about Trump, and this dude goes and kicks and doesn't allow 2 journalists into the arena because he doesn't like their coverage. He doesn't like the coverage that ESPN is giving to his team.
Why haven't the Wizards been as good? What's going on with the Wizards this season?
Look, honestly,
I'm not touching that topic, by the way.
It's actually a very simple thing. The Wizards' starting lineup has actually been very good, very solid, and generally, I think their plus minus for starting lineup is about 4 or 5 points. But their bench is easily one of the worst in the league.
I haven't watched a lot of Wizards games this year. How's that Trey Burke thing working out for you?
Trey Burke is, I believe, the 354th ranked out of 357 players in the NBA in plus minus. His per 36 averages until he got off in the Boston Celtics game was negative 37.
Jeez.
Negative 37. And by the way, this dude only played about 60 minutes for the year. So he was negative 37. That means they were scoring basically almost a point every other minute. The other team was scoring a point every other minute when he was on the court.
You miss Ramon, don't you?
I do. Remember I said that. I said I did not think it would be this bad. But you made fun of me for saying, "Oh, Ramon Sessions is not going to be that bad."
We will get to the Hornets. Wow. I mean, talk about exceeding expectations there.
But wow, the Wizards, and not only are this bench bad. Marcin Gortat actually, after the game last night, straight up called the bench out by name. Saying the bench needs to get better. We can't keep putting on these leads and then ruin it.
There's still plenty of time.
This is only the 8th or 9th.
There's still plenty of time. We're at the 10% point. I did some quick math there.
Good job.
8 games, 82
Good
games.
Job.
It's a little bit under 10%. So it's not time to freak out, Wizards fans or Mavericks fans.
It's not. And honestly, it's also a tough schedule. They have not the worst team they played has been the Magic, and the Magic currently are
7-6.
Yeah, 36.
That's pretty much the
but that was also without John Wall. So they played the Cavs, they played the Rockets, they played the Bulls, they played the Celtics, they played the Grizzlies at the Grizzlies. I mean, so they played a tough schedule. So
are you surprised that the Timberwolves are so bad?
I'm surprised that they're that bad. I don't. What are they? They're 2-6.
All right, but this is an important stat to put things in perspective. The Timberwolves are 2-6. You know what their plus minus is?
What?
0.1.
Wow.
So that basically says they could just as easily be 6-2.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a little bit of a blip. I think things will regress to the mean.
Mm-hmm.
I like that phrase. I like
honestly,
stuff that
do
makes
too.
it sound smart.
Yeah.
I think they'll regress to the mean. They could actually be much better than we thought they'd be. If some of those other toss-up games turn around, those either-or games.
I mean, here's the thing. I actually believe in that. In that 0.1, but I don't believe in it as if they're going to be like a 45-win team.
I don't think
the fact is that when you watch their games, you see all the talent.
Mm-hmm.
You see.
Oh, Levine is going off.
Yeah, Levine looks like a boss.
What did I tell you, Levine or Wiggins? I take Levine all day.
You know, the funny thing is that I still think Wiggins probably has more potential, maybe. But honestly, Levine acts like he's the best player in that team.
Yup, and that's half the
And not
battle.
only does he act like it, everybody else acts like it. When it is 2 minutes to go and the clock is running down, they're like, "Yo, Zach, here you go.
Just go, Zach.
Zach,
Just go.
here you go. Just go get him." Everybody does. Wiggins does that. Towns does that. But
Meanwhile, Towns like, give me the damn ball.
But here's the thing: doing that is why they're 2-6.
True.
And they've blown a heck of leads at the end of a lot of these games. Some big old leads.
Mm-hmm. So teams that are doing a little bit better than we thought they'd be.
How about the Raptors? DeMar DeRozan for MVP!
I didn't really see anything suggesting that DeMar DeRozan would take a leap.
He's
this late in his career.
8 to 30-point games.
Especially after
8 out of 10
contract
games. 30 points.
You know what happens?
A couple 40-point games.
You know what happens a lot when people get contracts? They relax. They just chill. I got paid. Mike Conley Jr., I haven't looked at. I mean, I think he's just existing. He's existing after his contract.
He's doing Mike Conley things.
Chandler Parsons, I think, well, in his defense, he's been hurt.
We'll just say he's playing the same as he did last year. Not at all.
Hurt? Well, he was healthy. I liked him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he played like 50 games.
Yeah, but DeMar DeRozan is leading in scoring, just over 34 points a game. He is on fire. I think he's got to eventually cool off at some point. And he's not like a little blimp on the radar.
By the way, he's scoring over 30 games. I think he's the leading scorer in the NBA.
Yeah.
And he's done it after only making 3 3-pointers.
Shooting 21% from 3.
He's made 3 3-pointers the entire year.
You know, basketball pundits somewhere in, like, the old school basketball pundits somewhere in the Midwest, the swing states. They're applauding. They're applauding this dude. Oh, we're tired of people shooting 17 threes a game. Just take the best shot possible. It's the most effective way to play. It's the way my granddaddy played. DeMar DeRozan's doing that, and he's doing that very. I don't know.
I'm actually not sure who that would have been. That sounds like it was almost like a wizard. Like that was like Dumbledore for something.
Dumbledore thinks that DeMar DeRozan's having a very efficient season. Do you think he's going to keep this up? I don't think. I honestly don't think he's going to keep playing like this.
I think he's shooting something like 65%.
He's not going to end the season shooting 64%.
No, on long range jumpers.
You dial that back. He's probably going to end up averaging about 28 a game. I think 27, 28
which
a
would
game,
which
is still great. I mean, it's still a big leap from where he was.
Like that's taking a leap from really like a top 30 player into. I don't want to say like a top 10 player.
Let's not take a leap.
Because he's not, but like, I mean, but seriously, if you're averaging 30 a game,
he's right there. He's got to be. He's got to be right there at most improved, right?
If you're averaging 30 a game, then suddenly you are a top 10 player.
You surprised at all by the Hawks?
Little bit. I watched them play, and it's amazing how their offense still looks relatively similar. Like,
I think you underestimated how Dennis Schroeder would kind of step in, and it really doesn't look like it's missed too much of a beat. And also, we had that conversation about Dwight Howard being so. People thinking Dwight Howard is so overrated that now he's become underrated, and he's actually having a really productive season for them.
Well, the funny thing is, so I went to the Wizards-Hawks game, and I also watched a couple of Hawks games, and including a little bit of the one of when the Hawks beat the Cavs. And the fact is that Paul Millsap is the most important player on the team. He was before, and he is still now. And Dennis Schroeder is a fine player, but he is. I think last year it was kind of really Teague and Millsap's team. Horford was a great player, but he's a fill-in player. He's just a really good.
He does all the intangible stuff.
He does all the intangible stuff. And when the Hawks really suffered in the playoffs, it was really Teague just kind of falling off, and he fell off kind of the whole year. Schroeder, on the other hand, he just doesn't seem to take anything off the table. He doesn't. I thought that he was going to go in there and just go nuts like he was when he was a six-man, but instead he actually plays a pretty decently balanced game. He doesn't take too many.
I like his pace.
He's picked up the pace, and Dwight Howard, on the other hand, has been unbelievable on defensive end and unbelievable on the boards, and that's really made the biggest difference in the world. And there's nobody else in the Eastern Conference that have the big guys to stop him. Like, he was just murdering guys on the backboards. Charlotte is up 50-49 right now against Cleveland. Good for them.
Good. Charlotte. Gotta talk about Charlotte.
6-2. Charlotte Hornets. Kemba Walker, do you think is he a top 10 player?
No. He's just having a great season.
Let me rephrase it. Is he a top 10 point guard?
Let's do the exercise we always do.
Okay.
Curry.
Right? No
Paul.
particular order.
Curry, Paul, Westbrook.
First tier. Second tier.
Wall, Lillard.
Lowry. Kyrie.
Well, Kyrie. How did I forget about Kyrie? All right, Kyrie 6.
Because he sucks!
Kyrie 6. Lowry, Kemba Walker?
Yeah.
Who would you rather have? I'd rather have Kemba.
No.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's gotten to the point where I might rather have Kemba.
Lowry is a better version of Kemba Walker. He's a better shooter. No, he's a much better shooter.
He's more efficient.
He's a better shooter. He's more efficient. He's
down the stretch. Who would you trust with the ball more in his hands?
Lowry's a better player.
Kemba Walker.
Lowry's a better player right now.
I like Kemba Walker better.
I like Kemba Walker, but Lowry's a better player.
He's
a better defender.
We didn't disrespect anybody, right? I'm just looking throughout the league. No, I mean, I would. Yeah, he's a top 10 point guard.
Yeah, no, I don't think I could think of another George Hill. He's killing this year, though. He
is killing.
He was a player of the month in the West.
So I guess George Hill is a top 10 point guard.
Or was it player of the week?
Probably player of the week. Because we haven't even played. Have we played a month yet? No, we haven't played.
I don't know if it was October. Or
it was probably.
I think it was player of the week. Yeah.
So yeah, Utah's playing pretty well. I kind of expected them to play well. It's not a huge surprise to me.
Yeah, but 7-4 is good. So
could we say that people may have overreacted to the Golden State losing by 30 on opening night, and now they look like they're in a complete flow?
I think at the end of the day, talent is talent.
Yeah, that's Steph.
When you win 72 games or 73 games?
73 games.
73 games. When you win 73 games, you just by sheer talent, you're going to beat 90% of the teams. The thing that is disturbing is just when you play those top end teams that aren't going to make those mistakes, that can score close to as efficiently as you, and then that's where the warts really start showing, and that's why I was disturbing against the Spurs.
Have you ever seen a crazier one-game turnaround in NBA history? Steph Curry goes 0 for 10 from 3. Then he sets an NBA record with 13 threes.
Regression to mean.
13 to 27 from 3. I guess that is regression to mean, because that's about it. Wow, I mean, like it was sick watching that game against the Lakers because it's not like D'Angelo Russell or Lou Williams or whoever was guarding him. It's not like they were playing great defense. He was wide-ass open, missing wide-ass open threes.
Honestly, I think lost 3 straight years to Lakers in LA.
That's weird. Do you think it's?
I feel like they're going to party.
That's gotta be like that's a trap game too, because they haven't been good. Plus, you go out partying. That good things don't happen when you party.
I feel like they might go out and party.
Good things don't happen when you party.
No, all bad.
We should probably point out that the Clippers are playing pretty well.
9-1, best record in the league.
I'd say they probably have the most impressive start.
Oh yeah,
to the 10% point of the NBA season.
Yeah, I think that they could easily say that they have the best starter. What is their point differential?
15 points a game.
1.
That's pretty sick.
15.1.
They're operating on all cylinders right now. Chris Paul actually looked like he gives a F.
Yeah. Chris Paul always kind of looks like that.
He takes
Blake Griffin looks like he actually.
He takes a couple every now and then when an NBA season starts. He takes like a month off.
True. He starts out a little like
he's hit the ground running this year.
Chris.
It's making me more and more look forward to what could be a Clippers-Warriors Western Conference Finals. Now, of course, the Spurs are going to have something to say about that. I think OKC is kind of overachieving a little bit.
Yeah, I think they've had an easy schedule.
They've had a little bit of an easy schedule. When they do play good teams, they get housed.
Yeah. For
the most part. Okay, we got to talk about James Harden.
Yeah.
When we were talking about the list of the best point guards in the league, I personally unconsciously left James Harden off the list. I left the guy who's leading the league. I think we should start calling him anytime dude's averaging like 13 assists a game.
True.
That's a point guard.
Yeah, you're right.
He may very well be the best point guard in the league. If I was to name an MVP right now, it probably would be James Harden. Yeah. Now, is Houston going to be relevant enough to where you can consider him for MVP? Because right now, I mean, it's early, but they are holding down that 8th spot.
I've seen them play a few times, and they're going to have some good wins, and they're going to have some really hard losses because they just don't play defense. But
giving up 107 points a game right now.
Honestly,
that's pretty bad.
It was frankly shocking to see the passes that James Harden makes.
He is playing
legitimately
on another level.
I did not think he had that sort of
ability. And he destroyed the Spurs.
And he destroyed them.
He might have elevated his way back into like a top 5-ish player. Yeah. He was there for a minute. He kind of went the other way because the internet exists and people know how he plays defense. Like it's the mannequin challenge. I think we just did a mannequin challenge thing. Yeah. We're trendy. We're trendy now.
You just have to play some Ray Strong on as you go.
Yeah. Man. The mannequin challenge. Did you see the Cowboys one? Not the Cowboys one. the Jerry Jones one.
Oh yeah.
This mannequin challenge is like. I mean, it's. Oh jeez. It's kind of messed up to me.
Yeah, actually,
but yeah, because
70-something-year-old man.
They're in air. They're in air. All right.
That's what happens.
Oh man! All right.
A 7-year-old man tries to do mannequin challenge.
All right, so something happened this Tuesday.
What happened? Justin?
November 8th was, for better or worse, infamous day in our society. We had a new president-elect. Congratulations, Mr. Donald Trump. I left my Make America Great Again hat home.
He does have a red hat.
I do have a red hat.
I think to symbolize, that's what you're trying to do.
That's kind of the, with the red.
Yeah,
that's kind of, with the red, like all those red states.
Your blood, one or the other.
So, because I like my job. Big Hawk likes his job.
Well, honestly, what I want to do is, I want to actually just read a little bit about what some of the NBA coaches decided.
Let's approach it from a social reaction type of,
because at the end of the day, it's also very interesting to find out how other people are reacting to it. Especially, I mean, you could take a wild guess how Justin and I might possibly feel. But
Yeah.
I think it's also very interesting for people
better left
who
unsaid.
are really in the public consciousness and really have millions of dollars to lose. If we react to this. For instance, Greg Popovich the other night was like, I'm just sick to my stomach. Not basically because the Republicans won or anything, but the disgusting tenor and tone and all the comments that have been xenophobic, homophobic, racist, and misogynistic. I live in that country where half the people ignored all of that to elect somebody. That's the scariest part of the whole thing to me. Popovich went on for nearly 5 minutes, eviscerating Mr. Trump for his race baiting of Obama and describing Mr. Trump's campaign methods as disgusting. He added, I'm a rich white guy, and I'm sick to my stomach about thinking about it. I can't imagine being a Muslim right now, a woman or African American or Hispanic, or a handicapped person, how disenfranchised they must feel. And for anyone in those groups that voted for him, it's just beyond my comprehension at how they ignore all of that.
The handicap thing was kind of...
Yeah.
That went viral real quick.
Yeah, that was... I mean, I just remember stuff like that in like elementary school. And, that was elementary school.
It's kind of not right.
But in elementary school, people did laugh, though. But,
that's true.
But
that's
you know
true.
what? That's because they're 7-year-olds. Anyway, so it's interesting that Popovich said that. And this is a little bit after Jeff Van Gundy had recently said that Mr. Trump was openly and brazenly racist, misogynistic, and ethnic-centric, which is according to the Detroit Free Press. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that you have not only these coaches who've said something, but also Steve Kerr said some things. I think Doc Rivers said some kind of bland things, but he said some stuff about it too. But I don't think you heard anything from a football standpoint. We got Belichick who wrote Donald Trump a love letter. Yeah,
and Brady's been an ardent backer of Trump.
There's been some sort of weird song and dance to that because
I thought didn't he come out and say
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I thought he did. I thought he actually
All he did was he had a hat in his locker, and he said that he knows him. His wife actually was like, "No, we didn't vote for this dude."
Joe, divide, nation divided, household divided.
Yeah, seriously, he not only did she say she didn't, she said we didn't. So
all right, I gotta ask this too. Mm-hmm. Like, so you had Colin Kaepernick, right?
Right.
The whole kneeling thing, and then the reporters asked him like how he felt about the election, and then he said that he didn't vote. Mm-hmm. How do you personally feel about that?
I think that was to keep it really G or PG. I think you can't try to be somebody who's going to try to affect change and try to be, and maybe he's not going about it to be a face of anything. Yeah. But the fact is that by doing actions that you have done positively, you are. So you are now looked at as more than just what and who you are. So
pretty much, this is my personal. I think it takes back almost everything that he was trying to stand for.
Why do you? Why if you're trying to be somebody, then and you don't have, and you're this deep thinker, and you're thinking of all these, what is going on in the world, but you can't vote, then how do you expect to help change?
And that isn't to say that someone who doesn't vote necessarily is against.
But it's not. It's
that,
not.
But
that.
I think if he's going to stand
specifically, he's standing for these things, and he's saying we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to work on these things. But you don't do the most normal, simple part of your civic responsibility. Then that it completely discounts everything else that you said. Like, it's not saying that you can't choose to punt your ability to vote, but all these people who decide not to vote, they're also not out there saying change the the police system, change the how many black people are locked up, or change all these different things. You can't start to make change if you don't do the simple part of just voting. And you know what? There's been many times I haven't voted.
Right.
I didn't vote.
I didn't vote in the primary.
I didn't vote in the primary either.
Yeah,
but
maybe I should have.
Maybe, maybe. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, neither of us are out there on the corner making these mass, broad statements about the state of society. Now, I don't have a problem with him, you know, trying to continue to create exposure for those things for the disenfranchised. But at the end of the day, you can't be a role model and not do some of the basic parts that a role model for something should do. It's like saying, it's like I'm mentoring some young boy, and instead I'm also a pimp. You know?
I want to be a pimp when I grew up.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you just can't do that. You have to, if you're going to be a role model, you're going to, you know, try to bring bring life to issues, then you have to do the simplest part of those things to be able to make your argument for that stronger, because people are looking at you not just for your actions, but also, you know, what your actions mean to you morally and to your behavior, so that they can follow on with that.
So we had the reaction from Popovich and Van Gundy and Kerr, who were very ardent about their discontent with how things turned out. Then we have Nick Saban. I almost said Nick Satan.
Some people do feel about him like that.
Yeah, Alabama might not play that. That might not play too well in Alabama. But he basically said, "Oh, I forgot there was even an election." Now, are you obligated to have an opinion about the election? No, but should you at least be kind of socially in tune with what's going on in the world?
I think you can't lead 115 black men and decide that you're just not going to say anything to them. And I think that it was a very sissy way out to go on national television or wherever he was, because he knowing he's in Alabama.
Red state.
If you've, besides the red part, if you've ever read anything about the history of Alabama, you will know they've had some issues. Not going to say what. Not going to say that, you know, it might have been a little while before they became segregated, or that they might have been lynchings all over the place. We're not saying those things, even though they happened. I said them. Doesn't mean that, like, Saban obviously was just punning the fact that, you know, all his donors are one end of the spectrum. We're not saying that they're racist or not, but
I think he
doesn't know.
He thought it'd be safer for him to be PC and not offend one side or the other, than actually maybe saying how he really felt. Or maybe he really wasn't into it.
Here's the thing, though. I honestly don't think that everybody has to say how they feel.
No,
at least in public. I think, like, at the end of the day, you don't have to say. You don't have to say to me, "I voted for this person. I voted for that person," because that can be private. That's for you. Just like we don't tell everybody. You don't tell. It's not good to tell people your salary or tell people your religion or tell people. You know, we do know Nick Saban's salary. I think it is like that. But you don't have to tell people that. But at the same time, you also don't need to make it seem like you're this like football god, that you're that focused on game day preparation, that you didn't go vote. But in reality, what you're doing is trying not to offend your donors who pay your salary, and you're trying not to offend your recruits and offend your 115 players, most of them black, who more than likely probably wouldn't be feeling you if you said that you like Trump. So once again, I think that speaks less to his character, not even necessarily his views itself. By not saying anything, he said more than he could have ever said.
That's a good point. Out of everybody that we've heard from, like, celebrities, sports figures, general people have their feelings on the election, who do you think had the most introspective insight on what happened on Tuesday?
I actually think that it actually shocked me that Stan Van Gundy was one of the first people I heard say something. and I actually really...
It was a little surprising.
I mean, it was not necessarily even that he felt that way, because I think that most people who have a degree of being around other people different than themselves develop a certain amount of empathy for others. And it's not shocking to me that a number of NBA coaches have said something, because whether they're white or black, because if your life is hanging around people who live differently than you, have grown up differently than you, have different families than you, then you're going to start understanding and seeing the world a different way. And I think that hearing them understand how the disenfranchised might feel, and verbalizing that eloquently, it actually, in a lot of ways, almost means more. It shouldn't mean more, but it means more than a black person saying something, because it's if I was to say something, in a lot of ways, it just comes out as, oh, those are just sour grapes.
It's like the white person that's with like the Black Lives Matter movement or something like that.
Yes and no. Like, that's one of those things where it's, for me, it's sour grapes, or they are always talking about racism, or this and this thing, or maybe you should just you're trying to feel bad for yourself, instead of somebody from the outside looking in and also looking at themselves and saying, there's something wrong here. These people are hurt by this, and we should not stand for this, because this also affects our lives.
And I think I can't talk. Something in my throat. Pause. The thing that's going viral right now is the Ernie Johnson reaction, and I think it was. You got good insight into, like, I guess not how we should react, but the fact that he was like, he said why he didn't vote for Hillary. He said why he didn't vote for Trump. He said that at the end of the day, he knew who he was voting for was going to lose, but it made him have a clear conscience in the end. And also that, I mean, to kind of sum things up, like, I would say that this entire campaign on both sides has created a divide. Well, you shouldn't even say created a divide, right?
I think
because
it showed the divide.
It showed the divide, and regardless of how you feel on one way or the other, and regardless of how you react, like, if you're on the Republican side saying, "Oh yeah, now I have my president," or if you're on the other side saying, like, "Well, we're going to take to the streets because we're dissatisfied with that you getting your way," I think the best thing to kind of come about this whole thing is that I really embrace what Ernie said. I think it is important for, like, instead of, like, being so polarized as a nation, just coming together and trying to understand what both sides are going through. I mean, I know that's kind of like I don't want to call it a cop-out, because I really do feel that way. I really feel like things would be better if we stopped embracing hate on both sides and kind of came together to discuss things.
But see, I don't know if I quite agree with that, in that, like, you could say stop embracing hate, but so how are people who have been talked badly about and basically just booed on by the president-elect, now president-elect, how are they the people who are, bringing things down?
I guess all I'm saying is that,
I think that sometimes, I think people sometimes use certain language to kind of say, "Oh, I'm seeing both sides," when in fact and that's one of the problems. That's one of the biggest problems that we had with the election, is that you get these false equivalencies, and Hillary and Trump were humongous false equivalency. You have one can be bad without being as bad as something horrific.
Yeah.
And the fact is if you have evidence over and over and over and over and over again, dozens of things said and done, versus a couple things said or done, then you can't look at them as the same. And I think people tend to kind of put out views to kind of seem like they're trying to be fair to everybody. But the fact is that, you just need to call a spade, and if, there is somebody or some people or some things that have been a certain way and have acted a certain way, it doesn't mean the other side is. Just because there are protests does not mean that they are hateful protests. You can
See,
say,
the thing is, most of them are not hateful protests. Most of the protests aren't hateful. It's just the camera happens to catch like the 10% that are hateful.
but I don't think that, the fact is that being...
Or the needle is driven by...
But here's the thing, like, I don't... You know what, if I break a window in a car, it doesn't mean that it's hateful. It means that you're vandalizing.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's right, but it is vandalizing, and it's also, and it's not the spirit of whatever somebody's protesting. I'm not even saying that the protests are actually going to do all these different things. I'm just saying that in terms of bad versus good, or people being, spouting vitriol, there's a difference between people protesting somebody being a demagogue and having these views that could possibly affect millions and millions and millions of people, versus some people on the other side who are, KKK activists who have historically lynched people, or you have other alt-right people who have looked at who are putting up memes or articles or trolling people online and saying that that a certain color or a certain sex or a certain part of the country is a certain way.
Do you think Trump kind of did the country a disservice by not denouncing like all these like divisive acts from like the right side?
Well, I think
because remember
it's not even a disservice. He actively courted it.
Remember when when McCain was running against Obama, and that woman was like, "I don't trust Obama. He's a Muslim." See, one of the things.
It's like, no, ma'am.
Yeah,
he's a good man.
Yeah, one of the
I
things.
don't like his views.
Yeah, and that's basically what it comes down to. Like, one side, the other. Like, you may not agree with the views or the policies, but I think there's a certain...
Which is completely fair.
It's completely fair. Like, I'm not going to agree with everything you say. You're not going to agree with everything I say. I'm definitely not going to agree with a certain segment of the population says. But at the same time, I respect it. I embrace the debate. I respect your views. I'm not going to infringe upon your views.
I think that there's a difference between having a viewpoint on policies or on even something like abortion, where that could be a moral issue for you.
It could be a moral issue.
It could completely be a moral issue for you, and you're completely justified in feeling that way and seeing things that way, whether another part of the population does or not. But that's one thing. As a whole nother thing to say, I think that to want laws or systems created, which essentially is what racism is, more or less. Essentially what it is creating systems and policies and behaviors that will keep a certain segment of the demographic down, because they are, quote unquote, not because, well, we're not going to go into the reasoning or thought process, but that's essentially what it is. So there's a difference between saying I'm voting for somebody who, or I want policies a certain way, or I want these moral issues a certain way. But guess what? Racism is a moral issue. Sexism is a moral issue. If you feel like if deep down your feeling is I want men to make 20% more than women, or whatever the statistics are, then morally then you're voting on that moral issue. If you feel otherwise, then you should not vote for that person. If you feel that all that people that certain segment of the population should be constantly harassed by police, then
hashtag stop him first.
Yeah, then you should vote for that person. If you don't feel that any demographic, no matter who they are, should be constantly harassed by the police, then maybe you shouldn't vote for that person. You know why? Because that's a moral issue.
Did you see the thing where the Chappelle on SNL last night where the little girl was like, "I'm afraid my cat's gonna get stopped in first."
What's the cat's name?
It starts with a P.
It's another name for cat.
Yes, it starts with a P.
Yes.
Man, this was pretty cool. I think we kind of stepped outside the box a little bit.
We did.
We did step outside the box.
We did. And you know what? I feel like it was cathartic.
It was cathartic. And honestly, at the end of the day, for better or worse, Trump is flying this plane. I'm not rooting for that plane to crash, man.
Yeah,
I really do hope that like he, can embrace the American ideals and make an America that really, truly is great for everybody. Not great again, great for everybody.
We'll continue to be even better. We need to be the best versions of ourselves.
Yep, and that's all we could really do. We have a social responsibility to ourselves and our children, or our children that may or may not be on the way.
What? What?
No! We're getting loopy. I'm getting loopy. It's
Don't worry.
We have an obligation to the future generation to ensure that we kind of come together as a nation and try to work with each other and all that stuff.
What? I don't even think you gotta go that sappy. I think the fact is
Damn it.
No, you know what? No, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. I just don't. I feel like at the end of the day, I think I want him to do well because I want you want the country to succeed. At the end of the day, and hopefully he puts people in place who that provide checks and balances so that we are able to succeed as a country, and we are able to succeed no matter who you are.
Bringing it back to basketball, remember when Larry Bird was a coach?
I do.
He wasn't that great of a coach,
No,
but he wasn't that great of a coach, but he got.
They made it to the.
They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals because he surrounded himself with a really good staff that understood the inner workings of the NBA. He had a good team too, but I think it really helped him to have that staff.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's the best metaphor because the fact is that it's not just it's not just that Trump surrounds himself by people who know how to govern because he doesn't know how to govern.
He hasn't proven that.
Just another reason, by the way.
He hasn't proven that he knows how to govern.
I mean, he hasn't. He hasn't governed it.
He could be one of those political.
He could be like an idiot savant.
He could be,
but I guess the point, the key here is not just that he picks people who know how to govern and can govern well, but that he picks people who are moderate enough in their viewpoints that they can help. That they have the greater goal of the country.
You can understand
the
both sides of the coin.
The greater good of the country, because it's just that how they reach it might be through their own prism of idealism. So it does not necessarily, we at the end of the day, if we had another Bush, that wouldn't be the best thing in the world, but it would still be better than the stuff that Trump was talking about during campaign. Period.
All right.
If we had another Bush, would you be scared?
Yeah, I was kind of scared.
You would just be like, that sucks. Then you move on. If you're like,
but at least we had Dave Chappelle to watch.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah.
And then the first week we had Dave Chappelle again.
Maybe it's like the circle of life, Mufasa. That might be too African. Jeez. We're getting off the ledges here, maybe.
In the circle of life. The one person who just came on.
Damn, Julio. Yep. Yeah, that was quick. I saw it.
Right.
All right, so it was a good talk, man. Let's do this again. I think we're gonna try and establish some sort of normalcy and regularity.
Right now, our normalcy is every 2 weeks.
We're a bi-weekly podcast. Who has precisely no content in between that time. I'm gonna do my best to try change that.
I had the article last on Thursday or Friday. I busted out the I hope it published because I did it. It was on.
I don't think it published.
That's no good. Well, I guess I have to make sure it publishes.
It's all good. It's all good. We'll get it up.
That just means it'll be up. That means it'll get up.
Maybe a game diary at some point. We're exploring different ways. Oh, by the way, we got a YouTube channel now. It's the Justin Cherot.
What? Tell us more.
The Justin Cherot. It's gonna have Tia Silent videos, occasional snap-like videos. If you missed it, you'll see the footage of me catching that oop.
Ooh, Cherot, what?
How to do a slip and slide out of the triple threat.
Cherot, what?
That's gonna be very entertaining. Slip and slide out of a triple threat. Jab step, swing across, back. You're just gonna have to see it to believe it. So that's why you need to go to the YouTube channel. What's the name of it again? The Justin Cherot. That's my YouTube username. We also have the Facebook, which hopefully you're watching. You're not watching. Nobody's watching. But it'll live there organically, so you can watch it at your leisure. Until next time, I'm Justin Cherot.
Big
Big Hak. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Say bye, John Wall.
To your season.